On December the 8th of 2014, Taylor Swift tweeted, "As my 25th birthday present from the media, I'd like for you all to stop accusing my friends of dating me. Hashtag thirsty." It is commonly accepted in certain circles of the Taylor Swift fandom that this tweet was in response to something that is referred to within the community as Kissgate. Kissgate was a concert that Taylor Swift and Karlie Kloss attended together in December of 2014. Karlie and Taylor had a very high profile and public friendship. If you remember anything about Taylor Swift's girl group era, even if you don't know Karlie Kloss by name, Karlie was there for that. Karlie is a supermodel and does like coding and stuff. I don't know. This isn't a Kaylor video. I really started it like it was. And I do have video recommendations for if you want to learn more about the grand Kaylor conspiracy theory. I highly recommend watching Ashley Norton's video about Tay-Tay's beard. It's so good. Tay-Tay's beard was one of the main conspiracy theorist blogs that was pushing this Kaylor agenda, and despite having seemingly been banned from the platform a couple of times, she had a really substantial following. I highly recommend watching that Ashley Norton video if you want to have a better glimpse at what the conspiracy theory that some of the Taylor Swifties were leaning into between the end of the Reputation era and the beginning of the Rainbow Sparkle Queerbait era of Lover. That would be a wonderful video to watch. And for more background information about Taylor's entire discography and career and the exhausting way that her entire personhood has to be balanced as a corporation, please go watch Alexander Avila's video about Taylor Swift. I'm going to link to it in the description below. At the time of me recording this, it's only like a month or two old, and it is very, very good. Like, potentially one of my favorite videos of the year. So now that I'm listing all of these things that this video is not about, I'm sure you might be wondering why I'm even here recording. Well, in this video, I kind of just want to talk about why. I want to talk about why this theory is something that can be so gripping in people who see parts of it reflected in their own experiences. Because while Tay-Tay's beard is a straight woman projecting a complicated narrative onto another pair of straight women for the enjoyment of other straight women, there are a lot of lesbians and bisexual women who follow her and who bought into, if not everything, at least some parts of this big grand Kaylor conspiracy. And the thing is, I don't think any of those people are crazy. I don't think Taylor Swift and Karlie Kloss got secretly married, but I also think that it is a little bit of a misunderstanding of what the heart of the lesbian experience is, to be surprised and put off by a group of women and non-binary people who are not straight, subverting something that is so expectational. I think probably there are a lot of people who would be really angry at me for calling Taylor Swift expectational, but let me explain myself a little bit here. Think about the earliest Taylor Swift songs to get a lot of radio play. We have Teardrops on My Guitar, which I won't make a huge argument against. Drew looks at me, I fake a smile so he won't see. This is a teenage girl singing a song about having a little teenage girl crush. You Belong With Me is similar, except one notable difference here, and something that kind of carries through into a lot of her other songs. I can confirm as a Taylor Swift scholar and also lesbian. You feel far more likely to hear a neutral you than a he in most Taylor Swift songs. She also sometimes will sing from the perspective of the boy. Think in Love Story. I talked to your dad, you'll pick out a white dress. It's a love story, baby, just say yes. Obviously, this is like a narrative thing that I think people should be able to explore either way.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
And nothing that I'm saying as I'm making these arguments for queer readings being valid is meant to be understood as me prescribing Taylor Swift any specific situationship with Karlie Kloss in the past or any sexuality that she has not identified with. I feel like that doesn't matter, but I also just feel like I want to stand up for the gay Swifties, because if you haven't listened to Reputation, like really listened to Reputation, and let your mind kind of put it through rather than the Taylor Swift associations that we had at the time that it came out, instead into a more fiction place. It blew my mind when I listened to Reputation for the first time and imagined, what if these songs were partially about a woman? My fondness for the album exploded. As an album, Reputation is a little bit claustrophobic. It is paranoid and conspiratorial and worried about letting the grand public get in and destroy something that's new. Something that sets Reputation apart from its predecessors and also anything other than folklore is that she didn't do big media circuits to promote the fact that it was coming out. Instead, she said, and this makes me feel more justified in putting whatever interpretation I want on this album because she told me to, there will be no explanation. There will just be Reputation. I want to talk about how incredible Reputation could be if it were actually about two women. I'm not saying that any bisexual or lesbian or sapphic person's experience of enjoying Taylor Swift music is not still valid and the correct way to enjoy her music. There's no rules. I'm not your dad. But I do find a little piece of enjoyment in being able to flex the narrative that's being presented so carefully into something that I enjoy internally. And there are definitely a lot of ways that you can do that without making things weird for real people. If you are a Carly, Taylor, are secretly married truther, that's fine. Welcome to my channel. I Mophie YouTube videos. I'm not going to tell you that you are being disrespectful for having this little headcanon. I don't think that it's inherently more disrespectful to imagine that these songs might be about Carly Kloss than about Josh Alwyn, who she was dating at the time. I think that because none of this seems to be something that Taylor Swift wants to be investigated about, it's also not something that she should probably get intentional credit for. So there are a few little notes that I make where I'm saying, you know, that's an Ophi read and not necessarily something that I think was the intention of the author. But listen, if it is fine to watch Wizard of Oz and listen to Dark Side of the Moon backwards, or whatever order you do those two things in, it's fine to listen to a Taylor Swift album and make a little movie in your head about lesbians. It's okay. Reputation, the album, is a mixed bag, like all of Taylor Swift's albums. It has a decent handful of skips and a few songs that I really like. I didn't love the first song for a long time. It took me quite a while to kind of grow on it, but I do enjoy Ready for It. If you're watching this video and thinking maybe I'll look up a couple of songs from Reputation, I'll tell you which ones to listen to. Don't waste it on Ready for It. But notably, Ready for It does play with that little pronoun shift that I was talking about. Ready for It has her talking about a man. Knew he was a killer first time that I saw him. Wonder how many girls he had loved and left haunted. But if he's a ghost, then I can be a phantom holding him for ransom. This is a song, like a few others on the album, that kind of points towards relationships that aren't something that the woman in them, the narrator of these songs, is particularly thrilled about. There's another song where she says, you know, older guys just play things for me to use. We're not really talking about lover today, but bad, bad boy, shiny toy with a price, you know that I bought it. Like, there's plenty here that makes people who are enjoying this conspiracy read of her ex-boyfriends maybe having been for publicity or mutual bearding or whatever, that like those lines because they feel like it points to the fact that she's not attracted or particularly invested in the men that she's dating. The thing is, about Ready for It, we do talk about that man who she says, "He could be my jailer, Burton to this Taylor." Obviously, like, Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton is who she's referring to here. And from my Googling, Richard Burton does have some gay rumors about him, which I think is less likely something that Taylor was referencing. But if you're picking up what I'm putting down about what we're trying to read into this album, he could be my jailer, Burton to this Taylor. He's gonna be trapping me in this situation. I could be wrong. But the thing is right after that, we slip back from the he into neutral you pronouns again. The chorus to this song is, "In the middle of the night, in my dreams, you should see the things we do, baby. In the middle of the night, in my dreams, I know I'm gonna be with you, so I'll take my time." The idea of this song as a juxtaposition between her forward-facing relationship and the relationship that she actually sees herself being in for the rest of her life. The relationship referenced in the next song, Endgame, where she says, "I want to be your endgame." And then because Ed Sheeran is there, she also says, "I want to be your A-team." Especially don't listen to Endgame. Endgame is not a good song. It does kind of hype up the stakes, though, for this closeting narrative that we're telling ourselves. Endgame is the song that has the title of the album in it. Big reputation, big reputation. Ooh, you and me, we got big reputations. And you heard about me. I got some big enemies. Big reputation, big reputation. Ooh, you and me would be a big conversation. I think the only conversation anybody had about her and Josh Alwyn was, wait, who's that guy? Which is another reason that the Kaylors have clung to this. But again, I'm trying, with the exception of bringing up Karlie Kloss and the whole Kissgate thing one more time later, not to actually tie this into the real-world speculation about Taylor. So we're continuing to play this as if we're coming up with characters for it. I think our main character should remain a singer, songwriter, pop star, whatever. She would be singing in that song to somebody else who's famous, who she wants to be with, but who there would be big controversy about. If this were a lesbian pop star singing this song, if this were a song about being a pop star and wanting to be in a relationship with somebody and not being able to do it, because it would be a big conversation. There's something there. The song just isn't good enough for me to, like, really go back to it. Another song that I would like to present a reading of as if it's about bearding would be I Did Something Bad. Again, like I said before, the narrator kind of hints at her lack of attachment to the boys that she dates. She says she never trusts a playboy, but they love her. So she flies them all around the world and lets them think they saved her. They never see it coming, what she does next. This is how the world works. You gotta leave before you get left. This also was the first song, I think, where she said shit. She says, if a man talks shit, then I owe him nothing. Not really related to this, it's just fun. It's just kind of a fun line. Don't blame me, again. I've been breaking hearts a long time, toying with these older guys, just playthings for me to use. The other thing about Don't Blame Me, though, is that it is incredibly gay. Again, we reference boys, and then we start talking to a you who does not have to be a boy for us to enjoy this song. My name is whatever you decide. I'm just gonna call you mine. And for you, I would fall from grace just to touch your face. I really, really like the song in general. And that's nice after only kind of liking the other songs. Like I said before that I would tell you when I think you should listen to one of the songs I'm talking about. Don't Blame Me is probably worth looking up. I'm gonna link the concert version in the description below because I really like when she sings it live. The next song on the album is called Delicate, and there's some Swiftie folklore that the 5th track on her album is always supposed to be like the most vulnerable or emotional one. Track 5 exemplifies pretty much what I summarized about the album earlier. It's a song about things being new and fresh and delicate. Is it cool that I said all that? Is it too soon to do this yet? Because I know that it's delicate. Delicate is just sweet and nervous, and something that I think a lot of people who are attracted to women can relate to. And that's another thing here, right? Like, to be surprised that a lesbian can identify their own experience and connect with that in Taylor Swift's album, why is it worse for them to think about that in relation to them dating women than it is for straight women to think about Taylor Swift songs in relation to their relationships with men? Is this not the point of this kind of conversational storytelling songwriting? Are you not kind of asking other people to co-sign the experiences that you're putting out there when you write this kind of song? The next song after Delicate is Look What You Made Me Do, which is understood by a lot of people to be one of Taylor Swift's worst songs, but I think it's really fun. Did you know it samples the I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt song? That's not like a point to make it gay, really, but I think it's fun. I also am not getting into the whole Kanye West, Taylor Swift, Kim Kardashian thing here, and did say earlier to put it out of your mind, but like, I will say, Taylor never said, yeah, I'm cool with I might still have sex with Taylor because I made her famous, and she also never consented to the wax figure of her naked body in his video, which I do think is like an intense violation, and that was something that popped into my mind when she recently was having some headlines about AI-generated pornography being made of her. I was like, man, that sucks, because also so did her, like, peer in the music industry several years ago, and now just any loser can. Gonna get mad about that, so let's move on. Don't listen to So It Goes, it's boring. There is a theory that I find kind of funny and sexy that wear you like a necklace refers to like having legs draped over your neck. I like that a lot, but Taylor Swift is pretty sexless in a lot of her songs, even when she's being sensual, in a way that makes me feel like it's not about either of the interpretations I've seen for how you could wear someone like a necklace sexually. Gorgeous is gay. Gorgeous is possibly one of the gayest Taylor Swift songs. If I am sending you to listen to a few Taylor Swift songs from this album, one of them is Gorgeous and one of them is Dress. It's really easy to slide Gorgeous into the same category of songs that we just put Delicate in. Those songs that are kind of more vulnerable and real, and not the ones that are about the outward closeting. Gorgeous says, you're so gorgeous, I can't say anything to your face, because look at your face. And I'm so furious at you for making me feel this way, but what can I say? You're gorgeous. This is obviously like a very feminine coded compliment. It's not something that people never say to men, but if you're listening to this song as a lesbian and the word is gorgeous, it is so easy to think about as a woman, and I would assume that's true of anybody who's like attracted to women who listens to this song. Gorgeous does mention, I got a boyfriend, he's older than us. He's in the club doing I don't know what. But you, person who's not my boyfriend, you're so cool, it makes me hate you so much. Again, the boyfriend is the he, and this other person is a you, which is natural when you're talking to somebody, but also works for my purposes. Getaway Car, the next song on the album, also plays into that whole I've got a boyfriend I don't really care about thing, and it's like a narrative about cheating on your boyfriend, maybe, or maybe, more fun for me, it's a narrative about leaving your boyfriend for a woman, or actually, probably, it's about Taylor Swift having to leave behind the original masters of her records. Probably, look that up, there's like compelling evidence. I think it's... I know I'm in the middle of like a really long video about lesbian readings of Reputation, but I do find that one more compelling. But Getaway Car would be about like her leaving the guy from Loki for Josh Alwyn. Or possibly her leaving Josh Harris for the guy from Loki. I'm not really sure. Hiddle Swift is like a weird fever dream. I still find it very funny. King of My Heart is a lot like Delicate. It's that early beginning. Things are really good. I love King of My Heart. King of My Heart is a bop. If you're on the fence, though, I'm not going to be able to convince you that King of My Heart is about lesbianism. Still, though. Late in the night, the city's asleep. Your love is a secret I am hoping, dreaming, dying to keep. It's a fun song to think about in the context of, like, this could be two women. I mean, I could say that about every single song on this album. I basically am. That's basically the point of this video. So, Dancing with Our Hands Tied is why I said that we can't leave Karlie Kloss to rest yet. Dancing with Our Hands Tied is a song that's about how hard it is to be seen in public with the person that you're with, who you're trying to keep a secret from the rest of the world. That concert I mentioned earlier, it was a concert from the band The 1975, and also, like I mentioned earlier, Karlie and Taylor had a very high-profile friendship. They were very physically affectionate with each other. Taylor remains pretty physically affectionate with her friends. This isn't like a Karlie-specific thing. Honestly, even though I think that they might be kissing on the cheek in the third Polaroid, which is a conspiracy theory I am not getting into in this video because I don't want to sound more insane than I already do, I don't think that they were kissing at the concert. But I think that we can see in what might be a response to that in Dancing with Her Hands Tied, and almost definitely in a response to that in her tweet that I started the video with. Holy shit. How terrifying would it be to be trying to come to terms with all of that on such a grand scale, with so many eyes on what you're doing and who you're talking to? And what if either one of them was actually gay or bisexual, but with other women, and the scrutinization of their friendship with each other stopped them from pursuing that with other people? Or maybe they're both like Kinsey 1.005s and they had like a little fling and they were being touchy about it at a concert, and then also that went big and public, and like there's no way through the way that this could happen for somebody that would give them the time and the space to process what their sexuality would be in a way that would be anything like what a normal woman-attracted person gets to go through in some level of privacy. And I don't mean to say that this is like specific to Taylor Swift or it's why she couldn't come out were she truly gay. Obviously there are a lot of lesbian and bisexual artists and, you know, even people kind of in similar spaces to Taylor who have been able to come out. But a lot of them did spend time in what is referred to as the glass closet before that, which is like you have really close female friendships and you just assume that everybody who looks at you is going to think that you're gal pals, especially if you're helped by having a beard. I don't know. I like Dancing with Our Hands Tied. I can't think about it without thinking about Kissgate, and Kissgate also makes me think of a lyric in I Did Something Bad that I forgot to mention earlier, when Taylor says, "They're burning all the witches, even if you aren't one. They've got their pitchforks and proof, their receipts and reasons. They're burning all the witches, even if you aren't one. So light me up. Light me up. Go ahead. Light me up." To me, in my narrative, where I am pretending that this is an album by some completely fictional pop star and not actually Taylor Swift, but also that something close to Kissgate had happened. Yeah, you are so scrutinized when people suspect that you are gay. The way that I was physically affectionate with my friends in my, like, teenage years was so much more scrutinized by my parents because they suspected I was a lesbian before I came out. But none of my relationships with my friends in teenage years were anything other than platonically physically affectionate. You do kind of get that feeling, though, when you're being scrutinized and you're not even doing something, of just like, oh, fuck it. And I don't think that that's what happened with Taylor, because I don't think that Taylor and Karlie were actually making out at a 1975 concert. I just don't think that fits with what we know about their behavior. I'm not saying they've never made out. I'm just saying I'm pretty sure Taylor Swift, like, looks around before she starts making out with people, and I've never been convinced by those, like, fan videos from the concert. And I, in equal parts, don't want to contribute to, like, overt speculation of what her private life is, and also, again, don't think that it's bad to kind of make up a story. I think, especially if these are stories that don't make them all the way to Taylor Swift, because they don't have to. I don't have any desire for John Darnielle to know what my interpretations of various Mountain Goats albums are. I think straight up asking a celebrity who you enjoy thinking about whether or not their songs might be gay or informed by the same kind of experiences that you live through, which is, I'm not saying about John Darnielle, that's just like another band that I like the Mountain Goats. It would be really weird if people had gay speculation about John Darnielle. I think there's a difference between saying this would be fun if it was gay, or this sounds really gay, I can't believe it's not actually gay, and saying, I don't know, tell me you're gay right now, and also I'm never gonna believe you when you tell me that you're straight. I think if Taylor Swift is gay, if anything happened with her and Karlie Kloss, it's nobody's business. The third song that I would ask you to look up from Reputation, if you're interested in any of these, would be Dress, because I sincerely struggle to find a heterosexual explanation for dress. Carve my name into your bedpost because I don't want you like a best friend. I only got this dress so you could take it off. Take it off of me, take it off of you because you're borrowing it, because we're both girls. Like, femme for femme anthem. I'm spilling wine in the bathtub, you kiss my face, and we're both drunk. Everyone thinks that they know us, but they know nothing about us. I love Dress. I cannot conceive of a world where Dress is about a man. I'm sorry. This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things is fine. It's fun. It kind of leans into that same camp meter that we had earlier with the song that sampled Too Sexy for My Shirt. Like, it's her leaning into what the public persona around Reputation was going to be. This hard exterior around the soft center of this sweet romantic relationship dynamic. And then we get Call It What You Want, which again does have male pronouns in it. My babies fit like a daydream walking with his head down. I'm the one he's walking to. The counterpoint from this, from the Kaylors, would be Carly, what you want, Carly, what you want to. I know the whole, like, got a long list Starbucks lovers lyric mishear thing bothered her, so I think probably she would really hate Carly, what you want, but I sometimes sing Carly, what you want. It's fun. It's more fun to sing Carly, what you want than Call It What You Want. It's just more fun. The final song on the album is New Year's Day, and again, it's a song that says two different things depending on how you listen to it. It could be a straightforward, simple love song about two people who got to spend New Year's Eve and New Year's Day together. But if you really lean into the word but, which I just said twice in one sentence, you can come away with a completely different interpretation of the song. Because the song is, I want your midnights, but I'll be cleaning up bottles with you on New Year's Day. I want your midnights, and also after I have your midnights, I'll also be there with you the next day. Or it could be, I want your midnights. I want to be with you on New Year's Eve. I want to be able to kiss you when the ball drops, when it turns midnight. And I can't, but I'll come over and help you clean up after the party, I guess. One of those is a lot more interesting to me, and it's not the one where there aren't very many barriers to these two famous people being together. Reputation insists on having obstacles between the person that the narrator is in love with. Those obstacles, when they're clearly so tied up with, like, having wealth and privilege and fame, what else could it be? What else could be keeping them apart? I want your midnights, but I'll be cleaning up bottles with you on New Year's Day. Please don't ever become a stranger whose laugh I could recognize anywhere. To me, that just ties in so beautifully with the kind of language that we saw in Dress. I don't want you like a best friend. I know I'm like setting egalitarianism between the sexes back by being like, men and women aren't best friends. They are, but I don't want you like a best friend. Taylor accidentally wrote a song that was for the gays. Here's my real piece of evidence that none of this was intentional. I mentioned earlier thinking that the lead up to Lover was like queerbait, rainbow, glitter, super hell, and it was. And when she was trying to write her little ally song, she wrote one of the worst songs she's ever written. So like, maybe Reputation was like the equivalent of when you put the monkey at the typewriter and you get Shakespeare. If Taylor Swift writes enough albums, one of them will accidentally have a really compelling lesbian love triangle narrative at the center of it. It took 7 the first time, and at the rate she keeps cranking them out, maybe we'll get another one someday. Maybe we're stuck in Josh Kelsey hell forever. Who knows? There are plenty of songs that I could pick from earlier and also later albums that I think also kind of exemplify what's so fun to pick out and read as gay for yourself in Taylor Swift songs, but I felt like Reputation was a clear enough example of what I'm talking about, and I was going to be talking about too many songs on Reputation, to be fair with all the other albums anyway. But one thing that I do want to make clear as I'm wrapping up here is, like, as nice as it is, and as fun as it is, and as much as, yeah, you should be allowed to read whatever you want about your own lived experience into popular music, whether or not it was written for that purpose, if you get kind of, I don't know, tired of living on scraps, there are so many amazing artists who are in even kind of similar spaces to Taylor who write songs that they're not at all ashamed about admitting are about women. Definitely make sure to let me know in the comments below what ladies you are listening to who sing about women. I wanted to suggest Chapel Roan, who has like the most amazing debut finishing up right now. I'm obsessed with her. She's so cool. She's a lesbian. She makes very, very fun music and also a few like nice slower ballads on her first album that just came out. It's so good. I'm also really probably not breaking any new ground here by telling anybody watching this channel to listen to Boy Genius, but I will say how much I love Boy Genius and that Julian Baker is a lesbian, and both Phoebe Bridgers and Lucy Dacus are bisexual. Of those boys, though, the one that I really wanted to suggest if you watched this video and you like Taylor Swift, I think you should listen to Lucy Dacus. She's so good. They're kind of in a different genre, but in a lot of ways they do the same things, telling you a story, taking you with them. My favorite Lucy Dacus song ever is Triple Dog Dare, which is on her album Home Video. Triple Dog Dare is a song about being in love with your best friend. It's a song about religious trauma and running away together, and it is beautiful. It makes me cry. I listen to it on repeat for hours at a time sometimes. Again, there is nothing wrong with either listening to music that is about straight people and making it be about yourself, or with not wanting to engage with music that wasn't written intentionally to be for you. Both of those things are very valid responses to living in a world that wasn't built for you and that has a lot of popular media that wasn't made with you in mind, but that you've been expected to enjoy anyway and have every right to enjoy. I've made a playlist that I will link in the comments below with the songs that I mentioned thinking are worth checking out from Reputation, as well as some songs by a handful of other LGBT artists. I definitely will update that if I get any good recs in the comment section down below. If you listen to Reputation again and you think it's about Josh Alwyn still and want to tell me that, I will listen. If you want to tell me about other gay musicians who you love to listen to, I would love to hear about that. And if you have anything that you would like me to talk about in a future video, I am all ears. You can let me know down in the comments below, or you can email me at ofidokiYT@gmail.com. If you're interested in more serious lesbian analysis from me, you can check out my recent video about the lesbian master doc, or my video about the Bechdel test being reappropriated into some barometer of girl boss womanhood for box offices. Or you can check out my 3-hour-long retrospective about the Lizzie Bennet diaries. Or you can just subscribe and come back next time and let me know what you want to see. Any of those works for me. Thanks so much for watching. That's the video.